Hello, community. Happy Thursday to all of us. Welcome to today's community event. As always, we're very pleased and excited to have you with us in these community events on a weekly basis. We always look forward to these events. Also, it gives us the opportunity to share, highlight, discuss, uh, maybe even, most importantly, answer questions, go through your feedbacks, interact, bring awareness to this industry and our ecosystem, and much more. This is one of the platforms we use for education, one of our major pillars in this industry. It's very vital to ensure that we are um, not only informed on the current events, but we are really aware of the basic and fundamentals that are required for us that we claim that we are crypto enthusiasts, blockchain enthusiasts, to understand and to know. And only then will we be able to highlight, understand the current challenges that are in the space, and then how we are addressing these challenges, right? And this is what these sessions are for and beyond. So if you're tuning in for the first time, we are very pleased, we're very humbled to have you here with us today. And for those that are regularly tuning in, welcome back. We are also always happy to have you tune in these events. It goes a long way. And as always, you know that we have our daily activities, and that is our daily tweets, our events with tweets. All of them are out. Killer Whale, Survivor, and BULLRUN, they're all out. So let's ensure that those who have not yet, let's engage with those beautiful tweets that were carefully put together and that are here to inform, uplift, educate us as a community, and also it serves to reach as many people as possible so that we can bring awareness to our industry and also to our ecosystem. With that said, community, as always, we'll come full circle to your comments. We appreciate very much. We see your comments, your interactions. We'll come full circle and read them, all of them, at the end of today's session, as we always do, so that we'll take our time and go through every single one of them. As the title has given it away today, fundamentals always win. You know, just this goes beyond finance, beyond the crypto industry. This is in life in general, right? Things that last always take longer. However, they last, right? And they always prevail, and they're resilient, and they go a long way, right? This is not just a pep talk, or this is not just a feel-good sentence, but these are facts. This is just the truth. And nonetheless, even though it's a fact, it's a truth, still let's fact check it. Let's verify what I just said. Is this really the case? Is this something that has some merit to it? Is this something that we can take to the bank? You know, so like I said, good things take time to get there, and without spending much time as usual on CoinMarketCap, as we see here, the markets are back back in the red. We are at 2.63 trillion right now. We are down right below 2% for the 24 hours. Many things went down in terms of trading volume. Everything seems to go down, but that's just part of it. It's ironic because apparently the numbers yesterday and today are good based on employment and the consumer index as well. However, the crypto industry really doesn't care much about that because there is more outside that is happening in the macroeconomic space in regards to all these tariff wars and the politics that are still happening around the space. And these cause for a lot of uncertainties. And this also just proves that narratives are just narratives. But what really moves markets, and this is why the markets are not too convinced, is liquidity. And liquidity is triggered based on the debt-driven monetary system by liquidity, by cutting interest rates. Interest rates dictate abundance of liquidity or less thereof. And this is exactly where when there is a narrative that there won't be interest rate cuts available, risk assets such as the crypto industry or stock market usually bleed, and people flock towards more so-called safe havens, usually bonds, the most liquid assets, or gold, right? And that's exactly what's happening. There's a realigning of things until people know exactly where we're heading. The market doesn't like uncertainties. People like to know what's happening in the industry, right? What's happening, what's about to happen. And if there's uncertainty, people just flee and wait it out to see what's happening, right? So with that said, let's get right to verify our statement. The statement today is fundamentals always win. And this is something that we really need to engrave in our minds, and we should really embrace it, right? But let's not take my word for it. One thing to do that, it takes time, right? And one of the smart crypto enthusiasts here in this industry once said, and he's quoting himself, like 4 years ago today, some things never change, right? If you can't hold, you won't be rich. This is a quote from CZ. He is the former CEO and still founder of Binance, right? But what does all this mean, right? So let's get to today's session. Let's jump right into it. So let's build something here. So Trump family held talks with Binance for a stake in the crypto exchange, right? So there was a talk between Binance and the Trump family. And Binance reportedly reached out last year, actually in 2024, and Binance was offering to strike a business deal as part of a plan to resume Binance US operations in this country, right in the US. As we know, Binance was fined $4 billion. CZ sat in jail in New York for 4 months. And then now he's out, and U.S. operations in terms of for Binance was paused, right? They're not allowed to operate anymore in the U.S. That was part of the deal. But now with the new administration that is pro crypto, Binance had approached the U.S. President Trump and his administration to see if they can strike a deal. So this is exactly what's happening. Now, keep in mind, Binance is the largest exchange outside of the US. It's actually the largest in the world, right? And it coming back to the US would take a lion's share of the US market, right? It would take a large market share from any other exchange, such as the largest competitor would be Coinbase, because Coinbase is the largest simply in the US, but Coinbase doesn't have a footprint outside of the US, doesn't have one that is as large as Binance. So that's where we stand. That's what happened, right? So Binance reportedly reached out last year to the Trump's family, okay, because they wanted to resume Binance US operations and be back in action in the US. Why? Because US is the largest economy in the world, and right now they're completely out of it. And nonetheless, being the largest exchange in the world, you want to be active in the largest economy in the world. You don't want to miss out, right? So this is why they reached out. Why is this so relevant? Why is this so relevant? Because this right here, right? Representatives of the US President Donald Trump's family have reportedly held talks with Binance about they wanted to acquire a stake in the exchange, right? They wanted to acquire a piece of Binance, not just purchase tokens and hold it in their cold wallets, but to actually have a stake in it, right? To be basically a part of it. So let's keep this in mind. Furthermore, Trump also, in one of his executive orders he promised that if you invest more than $1 billion, $1 billion or more, all your permits will be expedited, right? If you need any permits or anything, they will be expedited. You'll be able to literally, your permits will be approved. right? Literally, it's literally guaranteed. So you pay to get the permits, basically, right? So this is something that is known, that the president had said back in December last year, on the 10th of December 2024, right? So now we're getting somewhere. Another tweet here from CZ. This is, keep in mind, this is 3 days ago, as you see here. This is March 9th. Today, based on what region you're from, on my side, it's still March 13th. So this was exactly 4 days ago. CZ quoted something here. Well, he posted something here. He said that in crypto, too much money is spent chasing small and quick gains, right? Focus on ethical teams that build for the long term. Big money is built slowly with stamina, right? Now, why are we pointing this out? Because keep in mind, this was 4 days ago, right? So now today, and this happened actually yesterday. So 3 days later, after he quoted that, he said that too much money is chasing quick gains. Big money takes time, right? And then just 3 days later, this news hits. So Binance secures the largest investment ever in crypto. And this is the Abu Dhabi's MGX pledges $2 billion US, right? Now, let's remove the obvious. I mean, this amount is the largest ever, like it says here. This is the biggest investment ever paid in cryptocurrency, right? It's the biggest. And why was it paid? It's because they having a minority stake. Who is they? MGX. And this doesn't make much sense, or is not as fascinating if we don't understand who or what MGX is, right? So to appreciate that, let's understand what MGX actually is, right? So MGX is an Abu Dhabi sovereign wealth fund. So this is a sovereign wealth fund. This is like the highest, the cream of the cream, the largest funds in the world. These are state-owned sovereign investment funds. And MGX is an Abu Dhabi state-owned sovereign wealth fund that invested the $2 billion into Binance. And now they have a minority stake. So they have ownership. They're not just there to be part of the vibes. They're there to have a stake in the company. So now they're partners. They have an ownership. And the beautiful thing is they paid all of it 100% in stable coins, naturally making this the largest investment ever in the crypto industry, right? So, and also this is the first institutional investor in Binance. And a beautiful thing here is that the co-founder of Binance, Yi He, she happens to be CZ's wife. She said that Binance welcomes investments from sovereign wealth funds, but not financial investors. They are open to do business or for sovereign wealth funds to have stake in Binance, but not financial investors. Now, going back again to what we started with, this is exactly the reason why. A lot of financial investors are traders, and CZ doesn't believe in just people who just come and trade and move on. And currently, wealth funds are the only ones that can afford for long-term investments. And another thing, like you just said here as well, right now, there's so much chaos going on in the crypto space, and too much money is literally being spent in chasing small and quick gains, as better known as chasing meme coins, right? With literally no long-term fundamentals. And CZ is encouraging us to focus on ethical teams that build for the long term. Big money is built slowly with stamina, right? So back to this. What is MGX? we identified that it's a sovereign wealth fund, right? It's a sovereign wealth fund from Abu Dhabi. And the co-founder, which happens to be CZ's wife, is open that they're largely open for the sovereign wealth funds, right? To participate. So, and coincidentally, and I'm being sarcastic here, President Trump also did another executive order and issued a sovereign wealth fund, right, as well. So where are we heading with this? Let's understand even more what MGX really is, right? So now that we know that it's a sovereign wealth fund, we also identified that they're the ones who helped bankroll Trump's the 100 billion. Now it's 500 or 600 billion AI plan, right? The Stargate plan. Remember that plan for infrastructure, which was also backed by OpenAI, SoftBank Group, and Oracle, right? And then there was this Abu Dhabi-based company, MGX. They're the ones who actually already put the money where the mouth is, right? And they're already planning to invest and put in $7 billion into Trump's plan, right? And this plan we know as Stargate. Now, let's take a step back. Remember when Trump said that if you invest in the US, right, 1 billion or more in the US, remember what he's promised, that you literally get fully expedited approvals and permits? And do we also remember that CZ had approached Donald Trump and they want to come back to the US market, right? And they were even offering to strike a deal, a business deal, as part of the plan to resume business in the US, right? So now this is getting really, we can connect the dots here. So the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi, who literally bankrolled President Trump's initiative, right, to start the 600 billion investment in data centers, AI infrastructure in the US, who already invested heavily, not only in Stargate, but let's look at further. They also invested and partnered actually with OpenAI and also teamed up with BlackRock. Who else? Of course, they're going to team up with BlackRock and Microsoft as well, right? And this is a side project for them, and they're also having a $30 billion deal together. Now, the beautiful thing I'd like us to understand, and they also went ahead and invested also in Elon Musk's XAI. What do I identify? So not only are they part of Trump's 600 billion data center and AI plan, they also invested in OpenAI based in the US, teamed up with BlackRock and Microsoft also in the US, then also invested in Elon Musk's XAI also in the US. Now they invested another $2 billion in Binance that aims to get back into the US. So we see, and President Trump promised that whoever invests there, they'll be expedited, right? So we see that what's happening here is that most likely the game plan here is to get Binance back in the US and have it push, because it's Binance has the largest DeFi sector right now, right? In terms of, if we're talking about how services that they offer, they're not just the largest exchange, but due to their being largest exchange, they also have a lot of reach globally. And to push the dollar, obviously, globally, and to have the right licenses in place, you need to have the right licenses in place. And to do that, you need to have some investments in US companies and have a footprint in the US. So it's all part of the strategy to push out and promote the US dollar. It's all about the stablecoin and strengthening the US US bond market. And to do that is you have to bring demand for the US bonds. And by doing so is you have to issue clarity in terms of stablecoin clarity and regulation. And once that is done, stablecoin issuers will be required to purchase US bonds, digital US bonds like BIDL, for example, to back their stablecoins with, right? So just to have a small idea of who owns, let's quickly look at who owns the MGX. MGX is actually owned by, which sits on top of, okay. MGX is also owned by companies known as G42, like we see here, and also something called Mubadala. Both of them are also sovereign wealth funds, also from Abu Dhabi. Why is this so significant, community? Okay, let's start from here. So Mubadala is another sovereign wealth fund. And this sovereign wealth fund has one shareholder. And this shareholder is the government of Abu Dhabi, making it a sovereign wealth fund. They own MGX, right? Now, same thing with G40, like we just said, right? G42 is another sovereign wealth fund, and it's also present there. So and another thing that we are seeing here is that we already saw BlackRock did that major purchase last week for the Panama Canal. That's where all the trades are taking place. Now, keep in mind, BlackRock's focus is to tokenize, have everything tokenized. That's their number one focus. And to do that, it will take a lot of liquidity to get that done. As we see now, the first sovereign wealth fund has not only partnered to build the infrastructure, but also partnered with the largest asset manager and the largest tokenized asset provider on Ethereum as well, right? And this is where this is heading. It's heading towards, at the end of the day, everything will lead to DeFi and tokenizations of real world assets, commodities, the stock markets, real estate, all of that, right? That's where everything is coming down to. So now, once more, just to clarify, we now understand that this MGX actually, ironically, it was exactly founded 1 year ago. It was founded last year in March, and it was supposedly to be concentrated just on AI investments. However, as we know, they partnered with BlackRock and Microsoft also to establish, like we said, data centers and so on and so forth, right? And now with Binance, this is their first cryptocurrency investment in the blockchain space, like we just said. And what are they looking forward to? They look forward to advancing the blockchain's transformative potential for what? For digital finance. This is what you called DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. This is what this is all about. So they're heavily investing in DeFi. This is why they partner with BlackRock. The largest tokenized treasury bill is BIDL. And BlackRock is partnered with Securitize, which is the largest platform for tokenization of assets. And BlackRock has a major share in Circle, which is currently the largest stablecoin in the US. And we could go on and see what's happening here. So heavy investments are being done in the infrastructure side of things, be it data centers, be it AI data centers, basically infrastructures, and tokenization of all sorts. So why are we mentioning all of this, and why is Binance playing such a major role in this? And why have we had rumors before of the same Abu Dhabi fund investing in a larger cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, but this never happened? It was just rumors. Why would they invest in something like Binance? So to answer this question, let's just quickly we're not going to dive too much into it, but let's just look at some fundamentals that Binance has, right? Let's just look at what's happening here. Again, they were launched in July 17, so less than 8 years, so 6.5 years, going to 8 years actually, right? We're 3 months away, 3-4 months away from being there, but that's not relevant. What I want us to understand is right here. So of course it's the largest exchange globally, but what I want us to know, take away from here, is that it's a proof of stake, right? This is a proof of stake consensus, and it's based on staking. Staking secures Binance and brings stability to Binance, right? Okay, now I want us to look at this. Binance is a unique ecosystem of decentralized blockchain-based networks. We know this, right? Like proof of stake networks. So the company has grown to be the leading crypto exchange in number of the countries, like we just said, right? And their side organizations are attracting significant interest as well. Okay, we know that. Now, what I want us to highlight here is this. Measures like BEP95. Like, what is this? It's an upgraded. It's a system that Binance took, and this proposal, this was modeled after Ethereum. So let's keep in mind, Binance was on Ethereum before it was on its own blockchain. This is very important. So Binance took this model from Ethereum. So let's go back. Which model is that? Deflationary tokenomics, right? They took this model from Ethereum to be deflationary, implemented in their smart contract, right? So following the proposal, gas fees on Binance Smart Chain have become even lower, and the network bonds are part of these fees, right? To make it even more deflationary, right? So let's look at something else. They have banning. This is what it means, right? So have the banning mechanism, which makes them deflationary, right? This is very important to understand. And the aim is to get down to 50% of their circulating supply. They want to turn their supply into half, right? And this is what they've been doing. So they have a solid banning mechanism. They have a deflationary system within them. And the beautiful thing is that they got that idea modeled after Ethereum, right? This is what Ethereum has in place. So right now, as we speak, why is this so relevant? So let's go back to making sense out of all of this. Right now, as we speak, we all understand that Ethereum is the home of DeFi and the home of smart contracts. However, with the last administration, there have been a lot of hustle going back and forth. There has been a lot of restrictions, lawsuits, fees that coming from the SEC, right? And this has slowed down developers and discouraged developers for wanting to build on Ethereum. And this has slowed down also development in general on Ethereum. And it has really broken down, stopped DeFi from really being what it really is, right? And now, as we saw, this was yesterday, finally, by a large margin on March 11th, so 2 days ago, the House of Representatives voted by 292 to 132 against the motion to repeal that the IRS considers DeFi as brokers. And this was a rule that aimed the IRS to DeFi platforms to be reporting their clients or the users of the DeFi platforms to the IRS. And this is exactly what discouraged even more individuals, because this is exactly what blockchain technology was all about for. So that DeFi means you're dealing with smart contracts. You're not dealing with individuals. And you want to be able to be left alone and and use this technology how it's supposed to be used without any interference. And this was something that was implemented by the Biden administration and by the SEC, and was slowing down progress, development, evolution, and of DeFi and the growth of it. So now that the new administration is in, we see that finally, by a large margin, this was reversed. It was voted to be reversed, and this is now a big win for the DeFi space, right? And this is very important, community, because DeFi plays a major role, and the largest ecosystem of decentralized finance, as we know, is on Ethereum, right? Don't take my word for it. As always, we have to verify everything. So this is, you see here under all. Let's look at under all. If we go to all and you focus on the top 10 applications, and let's just focus on the top 5 just for the sake of memory: Lido, Aave, Eigenlayer, Ethena, Ether, EtherFi, and Pen. So if we go to Ethereum, you will realize that it's still the very same. It's the very same ones. So the largest applications in the entire industry, DeFi applications, are Ethereum native. The largest being a staking platform, Ethereum staking, Lido. The second largest being, like we always said, Aave. It is the largest lending platform, and then the rest are a bunch of staking platforms as well, right? So if it comes to DeFi, and even if we focus on stablecoin amount, there's way more stablecoin on Ethereum than even the second largest one. So stablecoin on Ethereum is 123 billion. If we go to Solana, it's 11. So 123 versus 11. What does this mean? This means that Ethereum is the most liquid, by 10 times more liquid in terms of blockchain than any other, not just Solana, but even Binance, Tron, Bitcoin, all of them. It's the most liquid, and it's the home of DeFi. So if there are no stablecoin regulations, if the largest DeFi platforms are on Ethereum, so who was suffering the most if it came to so much distrust and lawsuits and just slowing down DeFi? Who was suffering the most? And we all are noticing it. It's Ethereum, right? Ethereum is really the one that suffered the most, while everybody else was Solana with meme coins, Bitcoin with all the ETFs. Everybody was flying. Everybody hit their all-time highs. Only Ethereum was being slowed down, and this is the reason why, right? Because it's the home of DeFi. It is the most liquid assets triggered by stable coins. And if there's no stablecoin regulations, if traditional financial institutions cannot use it, if DeFi is being slowed down and sued by the SEC and choke point 2.0, all of that happening, it's affecting Ethereum the most, because that's where the home of DeFi is, and naturally it's going to slow it down, right? So with this news, with this development, and the reappealing of this, and the successful voting of it by far, and even having Democrats, 76 of them, right, also joining Republicans to this just shows us that it's bipartisan. This is not just left against the right, but this is just common sense to see that, hey, this is a new technology that needs to be embraced, and it shouldn't be slowed down, right? And if we want the US dollar to remain dominant as a global reserve currency, if we want to address the challenges with the debt crisis and strengthen the bond market and promote the US dollar, how can you slow down DeFi, right? Because by doing so, you're slowing down the US dollar, because that's where the most stable coins are in DeFi, right? So digital US dollar is in DeFi. That's where everything is happening, right? So this is exactly what the news is about, and the progress are happening day by day, that the untangling is taking place. There's more clarity in terms of stablecoins and DeFi and real world assets. And we're seeing now sovereign wealth funds heavily, not just partnering with BlackRock, who we all know is focused, number one focus is stable tokenizations of things, but also investing heavily in a proof of stake blockchain like Binance, who happens to actually use Ethereum's, who has Ethereum's model of this deflationary aspect of it. It also took that. So you can't invest in something. Sovereign wealth funds are regulated, right? And they're audited. They need transparency, and they have to invest in something that there is clarity about. So if they were able to invest in Binance that is modeled after Ethereum, and that literally by far is not as liquid like Ethereum is. Let's go back here. Don't take my word for it. I always like us to use the opportunity and share. So let's share and see. Ethereum has 123 billion in stable coins, right? This just means that there's more DeFi activity, like we said. The second largest, like we saw, is almost 12 billion is Solana. And let's look at Binance. Binance is almost half of Solana, right? And with 7 billion, it's way less than the 123 billion. And its deflationary aspect also is modeled after Ethereum, Binance's is. So it took the model from Ethereum. It has 7 billion in stable coins instead of 123 billion. And it has less DeFi engagements going on. You don't see applications from Binance here. The top 20 even, they're all from Ethereum. So if it comes to DeFi, Ethereum is on the front. If it comes to liquidity, stable coins, they're also on the front. If it comes to real world assets, Ethereum is on the front as well, right? And the partners of the sovereign wealth fund of Abu Dhabi is BlackRock, right? The largest ones. And BlackRock has the largest tokenized real world asset also on Ethereum, however, right? As we see here, if it comes to stable coins, they'll literally be the largest stablecoin, yield-bearing stablecoin, as you see here, right? So BlackRock here is second. Hashnote was just purchased by Circle. Remember, Circle just purchased Hashnote. And BlackRock is a strategic partner of Circle as well. So this means that they also have owners of Hashnote. So the top two are owned is under the BlackRock umbrella as well. And these are the largest tokenized treasuries. These are the most liquid. This is the most liquid asset class in the world. And it's led by BlackRock and Hashnote, who just got bought by Circle, who is also has a strategic partnership with BlackRock. So we see what's happening here. Tokenized treasury bills are already in place as we speak, as we see here. And where are they predominantly? Let's look at it. If we look at Hashnote here, look at Ethereum, all the blue. And then there's NIA, just this little, like it's 2 million, basically nothing. And 906 million is on Ethereum, right? Basically all of it, 99.9% is on Ethereum. And if we go to, let's go back to BULLRUN. If we go back to BlackRock, BULLRUN, same thing. Ethereum, right? That's where they are. That's where the majority is. So what are we saying here? The largest investment ever done in the crypto industry has just been done, and its investment has been on Binance. Binance is the largest exchange in the world, as we saw, and this is something that has not happened before prior. And the shocking part of this is you would think that everybody, oh, sovereign wealth fund is supposed to go with Bitcoin. Why is it not investing the 2 billion in cash, in stable coins, in Bitcoin? Why Binance? Why a proof of stake consensus? And this is an easy answer, right? It's a very easy answer. And this is because they want to invest in assets with a cash flow. That's basically it. They want to invest in assets with cash flow. And let me show you here. Don't take my word for it, right? So this is Mubadala. This is the investment fund, sovereign wealth fund that literally owns MGX, that just spent 2 billion on Binance. And like we said, they want a diverse portfolio of assets and investments in the UAE and abroad, right? Why? Why do they want these investments? They want, because these investments should do what? Generate sustainable financial returns. That's what they want. They need cash flow it only has one shareholder, just one, for the Abu Dhabi government. So the Abu Dhabi government identified that if you want sustainable returns, these are the bare minimum you should have. First of all, you should be decentralized. You should get into DeFi, right? Smart contracts, proof of stake network. Once you have that, focus on fundamentals, right? Like the one modeled after Ethereum, deflationary tokenomics. You need that. That's the number one. And then focus on infrastructure. Focus on infrastructure. That's very important as well. These are the bare minimum fundamentals. Now, as a proof of stake network, you need to be deflationary at least. And you need to be incentivizing the holders of it. Sovereign wealth funds love to invest in something that is yield bearing, something that gives you some sort of a cash flow, right? And this is exactly why they chose a proof of stake blockchain over just a simple commodity, right? And this is exactly what it wants. They need something that is generating sustainable returns, that gives them a cash flow, something that you can stake and it gives you returns, something like Binance you can stake, something like Ethereum, the largest blockchain and smart contract in the world. So if they can settle for Binance and heavily rather invest 2 billion in Binance than in something like Bitcoin, it's only natural that their strategic partner that they partner with, BlackRock, who is heavily focusing on tokenization, already has infrastructures built on Ethereum. And also what I want us to highlight is that right here, what I wanted us to highlight is also that we need to understand that the partners of Mubadala and MGX are also Binance and also Visa. And Visa has an entire infrastructure, like we've been talking about this, on Ethereum as well. So if in terms of liquidity, in terms of applications, in terms of dominance in real world assets, in terms of stable coins, Ethereum is there. But what's been lacking and dragging and keeping Ethereum from flourishing and hitting all-time highs has been this. DeFi has been attacked, DeFi has been slowed down, and this has been a big roadblock, right? But now, with this more favorable administration and all of these positive aspects coming out, and also news that we hear, for example, from Aave, that is using Circle's Euro Circle stablecoin as a collateral for the European market, right? For lending and borrowing. This is just another proof that shows you that now DeFi, because Aave is the largest DeFi lending platform, And now this is just today. It's giving the using the MICA approval from Circle to use their euros now, stablecoin, as collateral for their lending and borrowing. And why is this happening right now? Because Aave feels now comfortable enough that DeFi, like we just discussed, is given the green light now. They can now start stretching out and crossing borders, and so that DeFi will be used globally outside of the US, right? And outside of because DeFi has no jurisdiction. It's open for everyone. So this is the next step, that now stablecoins for European stablecoin, Euro stablecoin, can be now used as well, and is also being enabled on Aave to be used as collateral in DeFi, right? And this is exactly because Aave has launched a MICA compliant Euro stablecoin, and this is issued by Circle, right? The USDC issuer as well. Why are these things happening? This is not happening as a coincidence. It's because the decentralized lending and borrowing platforms and DeFi, like we just say, has been given the green light. And one day later, Aave is launching the Euro stablecoin to be used as collateral in Europe, just a day later, and many, many more to come. And this is just to encourage us, community, that fundamentals always win. At the end of the day, fundamentals win, not hype, not having the largest market cap, not none of that, right? It's funny, it's ironic that you get everything you want. You wanted the sovereign wealth fund being the sovereign reserve, strategic reserve, you got it, right? You wanted ETFs, you got the largest one. You're the largest one. You got everything you want, right? What more? It's not enough. This is why it will never be enough. So fundamentals was always important. Fundamentals don't need any hype. If you have built-in fundamentals within your smart contract to address inflation within your tokenomics, this is what attracts sovereign wealth funds. If you're a staking platform with deflationary tokenomics, this is what sovereign wealth fund attracts. This is what smart money is about. If you have tokenomics that are into have two burning mechanisms, even, right? They have two coin burning mechanisms. These are fundamentals. You, as a staking platform, as a staked token, you need to be at least deflationary. And this is the attractiveness of this. And you're a platform, smart contract platform, that you can build on top. This is exactly what's needed. But if you put these two side by side, as in terms of smart contracts, Ethereum is a way larger one, most used, that even Binance modeled their deflationary mechanisms from them, right? As we see here, it's modeled after the Ethereum's famous EIP 1559, and that's deflationary tokenomics, right? The more activities, the more transactions, the more deflationary it gets. And this is something that is fundamental for a proof of stake consensus. This is what we've been talking about. Inflation is poison. Secondary is having staking distributions that are sustainable. They can only be sustainable if your tokenomics are deflationary. That's key. And then the rest is, like we said, making sure that you're retaining liquidity. That's very important. And then how do you do all these three combined? You have to use your volume efficiently. By using your volume efficiently, you become deflationary, you retain in liquidity, and you have sustainable staking distributions. Does all this sound familiar? So these are the reasons why we should ask ourselves, why did the sovereign wealth fund, one of the largest ones, and we haven't even looked at it. Let's go back here and understand the impact of this. So the Mubadala fund has 330 billion, right, in its fund, 330 billion US dollars. MGX has 300, also 300 billion. So combined, let's look at it here. Let's go down here. Where is it? Combined, there should be a 1.5 right here. There should be a 1.5 trillion. So this Emirati sovereign wealth funds combined are 1.5 trillion empire, 1.5 trillion empire. Everything from wealth funds, like we said, G42, the one that we just talked about, Mubadala, and then MGX itself, right? So the G42 and Mubadala own MGX, and combined, they have $1.5 trillion. And they took two and already put into Binance, right? So they have way more where that come from. They have way more. All we're waiting for right now is clarity, regulatory clarity, and I'm sure they'll make another move, and this time on Ethereum, because Ethereum is the mother of liquidity, mother of DeFi, home of DeFi, and home of real-world assets. That's where all of that takes place. And it's not by coincidence that they partner with BlackRock. We all know what BlackRock is all about. They're all about tokenizing assets. That's it, right? And to do that, they'll need a lot of data. They'll need a lot of energy. They'll need a lot of infrastructure to do all the staking, to support all the infrastructure that comes along with issuing all these tokenized assets. And proof of stake needs a lot of data, because you'll be staking a lot, right? You'll be staking a lot, and you'll be collecting a lot of data from all these DeFi applications and all these hundreds of trillions of dollars of tokenized assets in a quadrillion-dollar derivatives market. It will take a lot of data to collect, data warehouses to collect all this data. So we see where all of this is heading, right? We see all of this is heading. So this is a $1.5 trillion wealth fund that chose to be invested in a proof of stake blockchain rather than the largest cryptocurrency that everybody talks about, and even the US already made a reserve, strategic reserve, right? So people are not fools. People really understand how economy works. Economy doesn't work on hype. Economy works on liquidity and transactions, right? And the current monetary system is flawed, and it's debt driven. And if you can have an asset community, and this asset is literally, the more it's being used, the more deflationary it is, and it's giving you yield, return on your, it's literally giving you yield for basically just securing the network and providing stability, because it's a proof of stake. Staking plays a key role because it secures the network, it brings stability, and by doing so, you're being incentivized with distributions, and the more this network is being embraced and adopted, the more deflationary it gets. So many focus so much on the market cap, many focus so much on the price, but where they go wrong is they don't focus on the tokenomics, because that tells you a lot. If you focus on tokenomics, right? Let's come here. If you focus on tokenomics, if you really care about your price and all of that, then you should focus more on fundamentals, because that's where the magic happens. If you care about your price, then you should avoid anything that is inflationary, because we saw what's happening to the dollar right now. If you cause inflation, you lose your purchasing power, right? And this is what Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi understands. It's basic economics, right? Choose something that in the long term is deflationary, and choose something that you can stake and gets you something, right? For staking, incentivizes you, and ensure that while you're receiving staking distributions, it's not causing inflation. And while you're at it, make sure that the volume that is generated is not used, but it's not misused, but is used efficiently in order to, so it's used efficiently. And what does that mean? The more volume, the more liquidity is being retained. The supply is being reduced and removed from total supply. And most importantly, your USDC distributions are being accumulated consistently, right? So what's the point of having all this volume, right? You see, like Binance has 2.4 billion in volume. And based on its tokenomics, we know, like we just read, right? Let's go back here. We just read that they not only are they a smart contract blockchain, but we know that they have what makes them, they have the banning mechanism, right? And the more they utilize the coin's banning mechanism, right? And the more transactions are happening, the more it bans. It's using the transaction fees to ban, right? That's how you use it. But most of the cryptocurrencies don't have this. So besides just banning, imagine using this volume to retain liquidity also. Not just banning. Banning is great. But what about you use this same volume to accumulate even more liquidity and to accumulate staking distributions as well? So this goes above and beyond. And this is how the new smart contract blockchains and applications are supposed to be operating. And this is also the reason why Aave already proposed, like we discussed in our last community event, a new Aavenomics, like they call it. They want to address inflation, they want to address liquidity, and they want to address their staking distributions as well. So we see how a sovereign wealth fund, there's not a single sovereign wealth fund that has invested in anything else. For the first time, the first sovereign wealth fund, and one of the largest ones, $1.5 trillion, is investing in a proof of stake blockchain that is deflationary and that gives you yield, is invested in a staking platform, literally, that is deflationary. This should say a lot about fundamentals. They could have easily just invested in Bitcoin and call it a day. It's the largest, it has the largest market cap. Well, that's enough. That's all we need. Everybody's hyping about it, everybody's talking about it, and how it's going to hit $13 trillion, and so on and so forth. But nobody talks about how is it going to address the current debt crisis? How is it going to address the current how is it going to help strengthen the demand for the bond market, right? And this is where fundamentals kick in. DeFi is being built on top of this, and nobody seems to really understand that this is the new internet. Only because it's not being hyped, it's not being talked about all day long, it's not being judged based on its price, but it's being judged based on its fundamentals and who's building on top of it, right? And if you see BlackRock, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard building on top of Ethereum, and this is something that is not causing you excitement or like giving you a heads up of, hey, these are the most liquid and these are the largest financial institutions in the world and are building infrastructures on top of Ethereum, this should tell you something. But no, we rather focus on what's the daily price right now. That's what gets us going, not on fundamentals. And this is where the mistake is, right? And this is exactly what CZ was saying 3 days before the large announcement. He was saying that too much money is spent in chasing small and quick gains, right? Mainly from meme coins, right? But the focus should be on fundamentals, right? On fundamentals with long-term strategies, right? That's where big money is built slowly with stamina. right? And then we saw that just 3 days later, boom, this is the largest ever investment. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. He probably was on his way back from signing the contract and he already knew, just waiting for the announcement, right? And boom, this is how it happens. And it was on a Sunday, by the way. So, and then 3 days later on a Wednesday, the announcements comes in. What's the moral of the story? Focus on fundamentals. Smart money focuses on fundamentals. Hype is and will always remain hype. But if you focus on fundamentals, you'll front run. That's how you front run smart money, because smart money, they have the money already, they have the liquidity. So, and they're coming in big. They're not coming with $20 or $50. They're coming in with $2 billion. And this is the major shifts that are happening. And they're coming in cash, not in options, not in stocks, not in debt. Sovereign wealth funds don't do any debt, like the debt strategy from Micro Sailor. They're not taking on debt. They're dealing with liquidity, and it's there. They have a $1.5 trillion fund, and they chose to pick not the largest by market cap, but they picked the one with the deflationary staking platform that is using smart contracts. That's the one they picked. And it's not even the largest, the best DeFi platform. So if they can pick Binance, that is modeled after Ethereum, that has 7 billion in stablecoins versus 123 billion in stablecoins, that has infrastructures built by Microsoft, by MasterCard, by Visa, by JP Morgan, and by BlackRock, already built infrastructures on them. It's only a matter of time, community. Let's not wait to hear the news to make the moves, but let's focus on the fundamentals and see the writings on the wall, right? Only because nobody is really talking about it all day long, and rather focusing on hype and just focusing on the price. Focus on fundamentals, because fundamentals will tell you all about the price, the futures price, right? If you're not focusing on scarcity, if you're not retaining liquidity, if you're not focusing on incentivizing your stakers, and if you're not using your volume efficiently, that will tell you more about the price than just looking at the price itself, that is pushed by hype and not by fundamentals, right? So if you care so much about price, then focus on the fundamentals, right? Because price is moved by fundamentals, is sustained by fundamentals, and not just by hype. This is why, regardless of all the noise, of all that's happening, all the good news, if you are not fundamentally strong, your price is not going to go anywhere. Nothing is going to happen, right? You always have to wait for the next high, for the next hype, for the next news. It's tiresome. But if you have fundamentals, you don't need hype. You already have the volume, you're retaining the liquidity, you're scarce, boom, that's enough. And if it's good enough for a sovereign wealth fund, guess what? It's good enough for anybody else. It should be good enough for anybody else. So with that said, community, let's come back to your comments. This is really what I wanted us to understand today, is that we shouldn't be carried away by the noise, the uncertainties, the markets crashing, and all of these things that are happening in the industry right now to distract us. Let's focus on fundamentals. And if you have them, just relax, because smart money is focusing on fundamentals, not based on hype, right? And it's a shock and it's a disappointment. And I wonder what maxis are saying right now based on this. Why would you choose, as a sovereign wealth fund, why are you choosing a proof of stake blockchain that is not the largest in terms of market cap, but you picked the one with the strongest fundamentals, that is deflationary and gives you staking distributions? That's the choice of a sovereign wealth fund. So sovereign wealth funds are the hardest to buy into something. And if they are buying into a proof of stake consensus, and they focus on fundamentals that are deflationary, that gives you staking distributions, they must know something. So community, that's it. Let's come back to you and check with you about your, let's check on your comments and let's check on your feedback here. And before we jump into it, I just want us to be encouraged, community, that fundamentals go a long way. We preach about this, we talk about this all day long, and we do this by design, right? We could be like anybody else and just focus, oh, look, the price, and yes, the price, and yes, the price, and yeah, hype, oh, it's going to 10 trillion, it's going to. So people are buying into things because where the price is going, supposedly, it's speculation. But if they would shift their tongues, their thinking, their thoughts, and focus on the big picture, like, okay, the largest players in the industry chose Ethereum, right? Tokenization is the key word. There's an executive order out there by the president himself. There is a World Economic Forum blueprint out there. And the game plan is stable coins, tokenizations of real-world assets, collateral management, and using these tokenized assets as collateral for the derivatives market. That's the game plan for the next decades to come. That's the focus. Strengthen and promote the US dollar, the digital US dollar. Strengthen the bond market. Where is the largest liquidity? Where is the largest stablecoin right now? Where are they? We just looked at it. 123 billion. It's on Ethereum. Where is the largest? Where are the two largest liquidity funds? Tokenized treasury funds. They're on Ethereum. Hash rate and BULLRUN. They're the two largest. They're all on Ethereum. Where is the home of the first network platform? So Visa and MasterCard, Ethereum. The largest asset manager, BlackRock, focusing on tokenization. Where is the liquidity fund? It's on Ethereum. The largest bank based on market cap, JP Morgan. Where do they have the collateral network built on Ethereum? You get the idea. So that's what you should focus on, and not some hype shilled out by a crypto Twitter influencer that tells you that such and such is going to hit 10 trillion by the end of the month. But then instead of focusing on if the largest financial institutions are picking Ethereum, and Binance just got a $2 billion investment by one of the largest sovereign wealth funds, and it's modeled, and Binance is modeled after Ethereum. Its deflationary mechanism is modeled after Ethereum's own. It wasn't even that they took Ethereum's own model. It's just about regulatory clarity. It's just about news like we had today. DeFi is being waved through. These are the things that such large institutions, sovereign wealth funds, Visas and the BlackRocks and the JP Morgans are waiting for to get everything rolling and running on Ethereum. And this is what's been dragging Ethereum back from running up and hitting all-time highs and beyond. The fundamentals are here. The developers are here. The institutions are here. Now the first sovereign wealth fund, one of the largest ones from Abu Dhabi, is invested in a proof of stake, smart contract blockchain with staking capabilities that is deflationary. They didn't pick, I'm not going to call any names, the most obvious one that everybody talks about all day long, that is in the reserve strategy right now. But they picked one that has a deflationary mechanism and that you can stake and earn deflationary yield. Those are the fundamentals, community. That's where the future is going. That's where we're headed, right? So with that said, let's get to your comments, your feedbacks today. Great brother Theo says, greetings and happy Thursday, my great brother Steve. Dearest great Queen Mama Wino and my great brother, my great BRL family. Fundamentals do always win. Looking forward to this session. This, as always, thanks as always, great one. Thank you to my great brother Theo. I hope you are able to take away something from today's session. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community and see you being active. Queen Val says, hello, Bull Runners, and happy Thursday to you, Mr. Steve, and our beloved Queen Madawino. Excited about today. Thank you as well, Queen Val, for all the banners you and brother Cryptorizer that are fixing these banners, and we appreciate you very much, Queen Val, as well, for consistently putting them out, along with Queen Mama Wino for supplying us every single day with these tweets. It's a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of creativity to put them together. We appreciate you on behalf of the community. We are very grateful to you and Queen Mother Wino for doing this. Queen Val says, to our new members, feel free to join our amazing community where sustainability efficiency is our everyday business. Beautifully said. Absolutely. If you're not yet, we're active on Telegram, obviously, as well. So join us at this, the BULLRUN Telegram link. We have Survivor link is here as well. So Killer Whale as well. So feel free to join us on these through these links. We are a very vibrant, active community with daily activities, 5 activities a week, daily on Zoom. And we are active on YouTube, like today. Saturdays and Mondays we are on Twitter, and then Fridays and Sundays is exclusively for the queens. They're also very active on Zoom or on and Wednesdays, actually it's even on Facebook. So we are very, very active, and we bring a lot of awareness based on or led by being informed, being educated, right? And looking at things from a fundamental perspective and not based on hype, because fundamentals go a long way, right? So thank you very much, Queen Val, for that. Queen Tomeletso says, good evening, our developers, Brother Steve and Mama Wino, and the entire BULLRUN family. Greetings back to you too, Queen Tomeletso. I hope you are great. We are pleased to have you here with us today. Queen Beatrice says, greetings to all the BULLRUN community. Greetings to our Queen Mother. It is yet another day to be educated, informed, and inspired by our very own professor. Thank you so much, Queen Beatrice, for participating. I hope that you were able to take away something from today's session. We have Queen Lati says, greetings, BULLRUN family. Another exciting opportunity to be educated on the role played by the fundamentals in an ecosystem. Beautifully said, Queen Lati. Beautifully said. These go a long way. This term maybe is like overplayed, overused, but it's the most important thing, especially coming into this new technology. You need to do things right, like we saw from the very beginning. Unless you want to turn around after many years, you start to rebuild and change things because you didn't do it right from the very start. So fundamentals from the start go a long way, right? So thank you, our developer, Queen Mama Wino, and Brother Steve. Thank you as well, Queen Lati, for always participating, engaging, and we appreciate your feedback very much. Queen Aloshi says, greetings, BULLRUN family. I thank God for the flawless information that Dev Steve imparts on us. So awesome that we can patiently huddle without fear or doubt. Thanks, Mama Wino, for unconditional support. Thank you very much for your feedback. I hope that you were able to take away something from today's session. We appreciate you very, very much for your engagement, your participation. Very much appreciated, Queen Aloshi. We have Queen Patricia says, good evening, family. Glad to be here again to learn from our developer. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for your dedication always. Stay blessed and protected always. Thank you so much, Queen Patricia. You are also very much appreciated for your consistency, your commitment, leadership by example. You're very, very much appreciated. And may you also remain blessed, you and yours. We have Queen Kube says, hello, family. We are here again to be enlightened on the importance of fundamentals. Take us on, Mr. Steve. I hope, Queen Kube, that you were able to take away something from today. Indeed, we can't stress enough the importance of fundamentals. That takes understanding of the industry. It takes understanding and identifying of the challenges, and then you have to take it to the next level and turn these challenges into opportunities, and turn these opportunities into smart contracts, into solutions, and deploy them on chain, and develop an entire ecosystem that is addressing the four largest challenges in the industry, right? From day one. That's very important. So, very well said, Queen Kube. The importance of fundamentals are key. We have Queen Cynthia says, greetings, community. Fundamentals truly are it for utility tokens like our very own BULLRUN. Hey, Steve, thanks for the consistent dedication. Thank you too for your consistent commitment and participation, engagement. Very, very much appreciated, Queen Cynthia. Then we have Queen Mother Wino herself. Says, greetings, BULLRUN family. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed community can change the world. Wow, this is deep. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. This is beautiful. There's really nothing more to add to this. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed community members can change the world. This is beautiful. This is very beautiful. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Mom, for sharing this with us. We have an awesome community. Thanks, Steve, for your steadfastness and commitment to educate and enlighten us. Thank you too for being for leading by example to all of us, for your commitment every single day on Zoom with the tweets every evening, day in, day out. I mean, leading by example, right? And it's just beautiful to see that, and it's so uplifting, it's contagious, and it makes all of us want to go that extra mile and do our part as well, right? It's easy to say something, but say that's just that talk. Talk is cheap, right? But the next step and doing something, and then doing it consistently, that's really what counts, right? That speaks more than a billion words, right? Action always speaks louder. So we appreciate you very much, Queen Mother Wino. We have Queen Patricia says, thank you, Mr. Steve, for imparting knowledge. Glad that you were able to take away something from today, Queen Patricia. We appreciate you participating today as well. We have Queen Debbie says, greetings, my BULLRUN community. Greetings right back to you too, Queen Debbie. I hope you and yours are doing great. We have Queen Emily. Greetings to you, Brother Steve, and BULLRUN family. Greetings back to you too, Queen Emily. I hope you and yours are doing great as well. Then we have Queen Grace saying, thank you, Steve, for your consistency in educating us, the community, keeping us ahead of what is happening in the crypto space. We love and appreciate you much, together with our mom, Awino. Thank you so much, Queen Grace. We appreciate you very much, and we appreciate your consistency, your leadership. We appreciate your contagious energy that you spread within the community. We also love and appreciate you very, very much. We have Queen Caroline says, Queen Mother Caroline says, greetings, community. Thank you, Steve, for educating, informing, and inspiring us. It's always a pleasure to see you, Queen Mother Caroline. We appreciate you very, very much for your enthusiasm that is contagious, for your commitment, your leadership, and your consistency that you show by example in the community. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community. Queen Louisa says, greetings to my for your kind heart, patience, and empowerment. I'm glad that you were able to take away something from today. I hope that was the case, and we appreciate you very, very much, Queen Lucia. Queen Louisa. We have Queen Mother Caroline says, knowledge is power. Indeed, indeed. There's really nothing more to add. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is a peace of mind, right? Knowledge keeps us from being overly emotional and irrational, and it gives us a critical mind to question things and not just to take things for their face value, right? But to really question things and have that eagerness to understand something. That's what knowledge really is. Indeed, it is power. Well said, Queen Mother Caroline. We have Queen Virginia says, thanks, Mr. Steve, for inspiring us. I appreciate you. God bless. We appreciate you also very, very much. We appreciate you participating and being part of this session today. We have Queen Kube saying, another power-packed session. Thank you, Steve, for always enlightening us on an array of topics on tokenomics. It's knowledge made easy. With good fundamentals, victory is certain. There's no better way to call this a session than this statement, right? It's fundamentals. With good fundamentals, victory is certain. Beautifully said, Queen Kube. I mean, there's nothing more to add to this. With fundamentals, victory is literally in the smart contract. It's the fundamentals. It's right there. And we saw today that a sovereign wealth fund chose fundamentals over hype, over market cap. And it chose it because in the long run, you want something that is not only deflationary, but you want something that you can receive something for putting your tokens at stake and securing the network. And what you're receiving should be deflationary. In the long term, proof of stake applications, networks, ecosystems that are deflationary at least, and that have a sustainable incentive, and that are retaining liquidity and using their volume efficiently. This is the future of blockchain. This is the future of DeFi. Self-sustained, efficient, putting the community's best interests at heart, using its volume efficiently to make the most out of the network effect. This is what the future of DeFi looks like. And we saw it with the first sovereign wealth fund going in bigger than ever, right? So this is it for today, community. With good fundamentals, victory is indeed certain. I want to thank you all for your participation. You're all very, very much appreciated, community. Let's be uplifted. Let's understand that our educational sessions are not based on hype or price speculations, but rather it's based on fundamentals, right? Like great brother Theo says, fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. My great brother, thanks again for all the work you continue to do as always. We appreciate you too, great brother Theo. So fundamentals are key, and this is where we'll always be at, right? Not speculating, not hyping, but really fundamentals. If you care about price, if you care about long-term sustainability, if you care about solving the 4 challenges in the industry, focus on the challenges, address them, and leave the rest for the future to come. In the long term, fundamentals will always win. Thank you, community. And those who came in later on and have not yet, I highly encourage us to engage with the tweet that are out, all of them, Survivor, Killer Whale, and BULLRUN. I also encourage us to engage with this video as we are closing out so that it will get the boost it needs to reach as many people as possible by simply just liking. And if you have extra seconds to just type in something that you would like others to know about our ecosystem, it goes a very long way. With that said, community, I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And for the Queens tomorrow on Friday, I want to wish you a wonderful session. We appreciate you all very much. Queen brother Theo, great brother Theo says, my great brother, thanks again for all the work you continue to do for us all. Many of the things you freely share and break down for us are not being spoken about in the media in full. Thank you for your feedback, great brother Theo. Very, very much appreciated. May I ask, why are these important things not spoken about more? Is it like the proverbial card game where you don't show your hand in order to win? I'm not at liberty to speak on anybody or any of these individuals or companies and institutions' behalf, but in my humble opinion, I just believe that we are in such early stages. You know, let's take as an example in the during the .com bubble, during the .com period, there were so many companies coming out with a .com domain, right? They all had various ideas. They all came up with various concepts. However, the ones with the fundamentals, the one with longevity, the one built and developed to address the community's interests, the industry's challenges, those were the ones that we're still talking about today, right? And ironically, they were not the ones that were pioneers. The pioneers were the Nokias, the Kodaks, the Xerox, right? Gary, they were the ones, the pioneers, the AOLs, right? Those were the big players, but nobody talks about them today because they were not built with longevity. They were not built to address challenges, and this is why they're no longer around. So it's just part of the journey, right? We are very early in this industry, and those that identify these challenges and address them and look at these challenges or opportunities and address these challenges, turn them into solutions. They are the ones that will still be around, right? So that's the best way I can put it, great brother Theo. But I'm not at liberty to think on behalf or get into the brain of these individuals or institutions. I'm not even. I don't know. But what I know for sure, we are too early in this industry, and uh, those who have the right recipe, those who are addressing the challenges, those who develop a sustainable, efficient mechanisms that will make use of this liquidity rush that is about to enter the space, they're the ones that will still be around tomorrow and beyond, right? So thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you for that question. Very much appreciated, great brother Theo. Thanks again for everything, great one. Thank you. And our community, thank you as well for all of your consistency participating. With that said, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. For the Queens, have an amazing Friday tomorrow session on Zoom. And the rest of us till we meet again latest by Saturday. Looking forward to that. And till then, have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye bye, everyone.